the beginning of the pandemic, Canada was caught unprepared with respect to personal protective equipment, which put frontline workers at unacceptable risk. It became abundantly clear that the value of having a domestically manufactured supply of essential PPE, and the government encouraged Canadian industry to fill that void. Canadian businesses answered the call, but many small and medium-sized enterprises have since shut down or at risk of closing because the government has awarded contracts to multinationals instead of supporting this emerging domestic industry. In my riding, a distillery, the Wayward Distillery, owned by Dave Brimcombe, pivoted in the early days of the pandemic to produce ethanol for hand sanitizer, and he was unable to secure government contracts, had to sell his stock at a $400,000 loss. This is a former veteran minister. If Canada does not support its own PPE industry, it will disappear. We're at risk of going back to where we were in 2020 and once again being caught unprepared when global demand exceeds supply. What is PSPC doing to support Canadian PPE manufacturers and as it continues to procure supplies for the healthcare system?
I think I'll turn to my deputy for the specifics on PPE. That was certainly well before I became the minister, and I'm sure you have a great deal of information.
So we have actually produced a regular report that is available online with all the PPE production that the department has supported over the course of the pandemic. So I'd be happy to refer the member to that source of information.
Okay, I'm just saying that this is gonna, it's gonna take decades for people to recover from this. That step to the plate. The provided PPE for frontline first responders, for healthcare workers, for people that are in law enforcement, people like Dave Brimcombe that own Wayward Distillery in Courtenay and my riding, true heroes. They got left behind. I've seen the list, and it's failed. Going back to those suppliers that stepped up to the plate at the beginning of the pandemic, and I wish the government would reach out and support those manufacturers and ensure that they're going forward with a system that's going to put them as a priority and top of the list.